So yeah, you saw the thumbnail, and I stand behind it. Travel redemption sucks. Until it doesn't. Once you get what it is that you're after, it's absolutely fantastic. And the outsized value that you get is amazing. The only problem is that people don't exactly tell you everything that goes into it. You get a lot of wild claims, and I've combed YouTube, and it's a lot. You read a lot of articles, and you bump into some guy who's all like, hey, you want to be like me? I quit my 13-figure-a-year job on the International Space Station as an astronaut, lawyer, neurosurgeon to teach people like you how to travel for free. So all you have to do is sign up for my 11-month course for $99.95, and you too will never have to pay to ever travel again. Or you see another dude and he's saying something like, hey, look at me. I'm young and I'm relatable. TikTok, be real. Meta, I never pay for travel because credit cards will pay for it for you. I mean, everybody should know this. Everybody should have them. Everybody have them, and I always get the maximum redemption out of all my credit card points because that's what I do. And I'm monetized. So that means people are listening. So you shut up and listen too. Now I'm gonna go on and tell you how I've earned a fulfilling points, but I'm gonna conveniently leave out that I spend an ungodly amount on my credit cards to maintain my real estate investments, which are extremely cash intensive, because that's actually the way I produce my wealth, as their equity vehicles as opposed to the debt vehicles that I'm about to tell you about. But hey, I'll tell you, make sure you pay them off because they're debt vehicles. And I'll tell you to hold a mortgage forever because you can still borrow against the property. But I travel for free. MySpace. Is MySpace a thing? MySpace isn't a thing. I heard it on TV. I'm young and relatable. Or finally, and these are the most prevalent, the ultra vagues, because they make sure they cover themselves, but they want you to know that, hey, people listen to me, even though I don't actually say anything particularly specific, and they're all like, yeah, so, yeah. I get great redemptions because I only collect one sort of point, and even though it's valued at some random value that the points guy says, I'm just gonna assign some weird value that I'm gonna literally pluck out of thin air. But I too am monetized, so that means people are listening to me. So you should shut up and listen too. So yeah, as long as I keep assigning random values to my points, I can totally get 5 to 8 cents per point on all my redemptions because that's what I do. And plus, that's what I can totally show you. All rights reserved, this is the fine print. By showing you, he actually means that he's going to show you how he thinks it's done, how other people have done it before. This channel is totally protected, as this random guy is not a financial advisor, and he's not going to claim to be a financial advisor, and everything that you see can't actually be proven, so don't even try it. He's already monetized, so shut up. Just like he said, I can't believe you're actually still listening to this. I really hope you give this video a like because you're literally turning up the volume to hear exactly what the fine print is, and it's the fine print that they put in because this is so vague. So now let's use some legal terms. Herein, therefore, art thou Romeo, and hitherto, and from now on, no one will be liable for any wild claims that this doofus makes. Thank you. But enough with them. Hopefully you'll get some value, maybe a little entertainment out of this, and please don't be shy. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And also, let me get my comments so I can interact with you guys and let me know what you're thinking. So now that we get into it, these are things that I want to give as warning signs to people just getting into travel redemption because I actually haven't done a lot of it. To be honest with you, there are a lot of people just getting into the card game that have heard about wild cent per point redemptions, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've heard as high as 10 cents per point in super rare instances. And that kind of thing brings people in. But let me cover a few things. So maybe we don't make things as hard on ourselves as we normally tend to do, being human beings and all. First things first, You have to be realistic. And that's realistic in all things. Most transferable currencies that you're going to earn are fiat currencies, just like the dollars that are in your pocket. They're not backed by anything except for who wants them. That's the only thing that gives them value. And once a company doesn't want them or wants way more of them for the same service, inflation, they're going to be devalued. So first things first, let's be realistic about the currency that we may or may not be hoarding. Secondly, we also covered the effects on said currency. Also, your redemptions. Now, basement value for redemption, actually basement value for earning points, whether you have the Amex Everyday, which is 0 annual fee, all the way up to the Amex Platinum, which is $6.95, is 1 point per dollar spent. So you can think of that as you're earning them at a rate of 1 penny, right? Same thing goes for a lot of other issuers. So we're going to use our baseline as you want to redeem at 1 cent per point. That's what you paid for it. You might as well redeem that and call it even. Now, normally you'll have people with Team Cash Back that will say, all right, that's 2 clicks. Why am I going to go through a whole bunch of extra work and searching and doing this and doing that in order to get the same 1 cent per point redemption just to say I flew somewhere? And they're right. So for me personally, and I'm stamping me, is that if I don't get at least 2 cents per point on a redemption, that's the basement, then it's not even worth it. Now, the second thing you want to do, you want to know your airline alliances. A lot of airlines are actually part of 3 major alliances. And because we're in the United States, we'll base the US carriers and the alliances that they represent. So first we have Delta, that represents the SkyTeam Alliance. Then we have United, that represents the Star Alliance. And we have American, that represents the One World Alliance. Now, in addition to those alliances, you have non-alliance affiliate airlines, such as Etihad and Emirates, and a very popular one, which is Virgin. The reason you want to be aware of these alliances is that as we come up on the rest of the tips and tricks, you're going to want to know which airlines partner with who to see who you can transfer points to. The third thing, this is something that, you're going to find out as you start searching. Join every flyer club you can get your hands on. Every single one of them. Period. Join them all. I don't care if I'm a part of American's freaking flyer club and I don't even like them. Join Delta. Join Turkish Air. Join them all. Period. I'm telling you now, just save yourself a bunch of trouble and join them all, because a lot of the times you can't view redemption charts or even redemptions, period, associated with points that you may earn without being a part of the frequent flyer club, because they're not even going to waste the time on you. So I'm just letting you know now, join them all. If you think you might be flying on Lucky Charms Air, if I were you, I'd find out if they have a program and I'd join it. A lot of the times with alliances that I just spoke about, their affiliate airlines will actually operate planes that are on the routes that you get through them. So it's always best to be familiar with and to be a member of the frequent flyer clubs. Next thing, use your resources. And there are a great many resources. Now, I poke fun at people all the time. Yeah, okay, there's some people on YouTube that are just, it is what it is. People are gonna be everywhere. There's some websites, but Google Flights, great way to see what airlines are moving through what routes. If you have a preferred card issuer like American or Chase or Capital One, actually looking at routes and air tickets that they have on their site is a great way to get a baseline for where you may or may not want to fly, and the dates and possibly some reward availability. So use all of your tools. In addition to that, go on American and look through their flights and see which one of their affiliate airlines in the One World Alliance might be flying a route that I could possibly get a reward redemption on. Same thing with United, same thing with Delta. You can find these things by simply looking at the fine print, and this will lead you to some of the redemptions that you want, so that way you can be on the internet bragging as well that you slept in a pull-out couch 30,000 feet in the air. Another thing, you gotta have patience. Look, the way this is set up, these points, yes, the airlines have set these things up because the points are yours to use. But at the same time, understand they are businesses. They are looking for people to spend money in order for them to meet their bottom line. So don't be surprised that reward flights are not their priority. They have to offer them because they're the ones who created them. Hey, tough luck, their part. But understand that you may have to be patient. You have to be uber flexible because maybe the dates you want to fly, you may have to rearrange things because they're not going to work around you because these are gimme flights. And now I can tell you, somebody with 300,000 points and a couple $100, I would prefer someone spending $9,000 on that ticket if I was Mr. United, but that's just good business. So make sure you're patient. Understand that just because somebody said that there's a redemption, oh, hey, you can get a 30,000 point redemption if you book this Delta flight through Virgin right now. You may go on there and you may not find it. So you have to be patient. You got to understand that this is a game of patience. Now, you also want to know the difference between award charts and dynamic pricing. A lot of airlines and hotels and other points-driven industries that have frequent buyer programs, of course, they want to move to dynamic pricing because what that means is that their points values can be associated and matched to the inflation rate that cash is. So in other words, they don't have a bunch of people, like for instance, in a hotel, paying $10,000 a night for a $400 a night room. They don't want them to be able to use an award chart that says, okay, this room is a class 3, so it's, X amount of points per night. No, I want the points to be mated to how much the room is. So just in case I jack the price up to 600, the points value for redemption would go up, thereby decreasing the value for the points holder, but at least letting the hotel know that, hey, at least I'm getting some sort of value out of it since I'm not collecting any cash. That is an example of dynamic pricing. That is what a lot of carriers are going to, and it sucks. To be honest with you, it totally devalues points. It makes points be referred to by whimsical names such as Sky Pesos and what have you. I mean, there are sales here and there, but dynamic pricing, boo for the working guy. Now, award charts. Award charts are very convenient because they give you a hard and fast measure of how many points you will have to pay for a certain thing at a certain time, period. That's it. They wrote it. They made the rules, so they got to stick by it. So if you have an airline that says you can fly from North America to Europe in coach, off peak, for 25,000 miles, that's it. I don't care if that coach ticket in real life costs $1,800, it's 25,000 miles. I don't care if that ticket goes up to $3,600, it's 25,000 miles. That's the exact opposite of dynamic pricing, and that works for people like us. Now here's the thing. You've exercised your patience, you have a realistic redemption rate that you're trying to get, you finally found your award ticket, and you're happy. But now how do I figure out exactly how many cents per point I'm getting from this? So just so you know, a lot of things depend on the taxes and fees assigned to the ticket. And when you calculate your redemption, understand you have to take the taxes and fees that you would have to pay anyway out of the price of the ticket and simply divide it by how many points you spent, and that will get your cent per point redemption. That's your realistic cent per point redemption, all things equal. Which brings me to my next point. Taxes and fees are a thing. I don't know how else to state this. Understand that when you find redemptions, you will find a lot of point redemptions come with plus $5.60, plus $874. Some companies are way worse than others when they attach fuel surcharges and fees. British Airways, they're horrible. And this all depends on sometimes places that you may connect through. As long as they get you there, they're going to hit you with a ton of fees. And then also there are other carriers that will make the level of service that you're flying to how many taxes and fees that they'll charge you. So if you're flying first class, an Etihad, maybe that'll be your points that you're paying for it plus $1,200. That's just taxes and fees. That's going to be gimme money that they're going to take because you're tying up a seat. So understand, a lot of people don't talk about this, but taxes and fees are a thing. I don't care how many points they redeem for. And taxes and fees normally are accepted in cash. You have to pay real money.
Give me that.
Yes, real money. It's just a part of doing business. So people will tend to conveniently leave that out and tell you what their cent per point redemption is, and not telling you that this aspirational trip that they spent 500,000 points on also in addition cost them $2,500 in cold hard cash because they had to pay the taxes and fees. So be very prepared for that. There are other companies that you can sidestep it. There are different carriers who don't charge as many fees, and that too is a part of the patience game. You have to seek them out, and you have to look and see which ones you can use and how you can finesse it. But then their availability might present a roadblock, so I'm just letting you know. So now we've covered all the major parts of flight redemption, of travel redemption, mind you, because it counts for both flights and hotels. Now, I'm currently looking because I want to take my wife to Europe next year, and I figured I'd start studying up now, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot, joining all of the clubs and really just looking at award redemptions, because some places you tend to find a sweet spot on a last minute booking, whereas others, it's probably best that you book out as far as possible to secure your spot before the points required for said flight go through the roof. Certain routes are going to cost more. Certain routes are going to charge you way more points to keep the taxes down. And other ones, they're going to charge you maybe 55K points, but your taxes are going to be $900 to get to where you need to go. I mean, don't get me wrong, that $900 could have been a coach ticket, but if it has you flying in first or business class internationally, that's a decent trade-off. But it's still $900 out of pocket that you weren't expecting to pay. So you have a lot of people who tell you that they travel for free, but they just need to make sure they put the little asterisk there, because free can be a bit of a flexible word. So I just want to give you guys the honest truth about what it takes to do redemption. Now, I don't want to leave on a negative note, because when you do this, it is fantastic. I have personally found on AmericanAirlines.com, I hate that I have to give them credit for this, I found a flight leaving JFK Airport, going to Rome, Italy, airport, FCO, that I was able to get 2 tickets for 250,000 points plus $22. I personally found that specific ticket. I wish I could remember the date, but what will happen is during my journey, I'll actually keep you guys updated. Because a lot of things that you'll also notice is that because it's sort of a hit and miss game, you tend not to see people do real-time redemptions because they never know when they're going to find a good one. So if you're looking to see some of those, you're going to have a hard time finding them, and I just figured I'll let you know now. But I found some redemptions just looking around, and hopefully this helps you as well on your hunt for travel redemptions.